Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Mike Davis. This is my good friend Jessie Harvey. We're guides up here at Hearst Castle. And today we're going to talk about dogs in art up here at the monument.
We're in the north end of the assembly room, and the assembly room is the second largest room in Casa Grande, over 2,500 square feet. And oftentimes, you as a guest, when you came up, this is where you'd meet Mr. Hearst and his longtime companion, Marion Davies, for the first time. And speaking of Mr. Hearst and Marion Davies, they favored the Dachshund breed above all others. Originating in Germany, Dachshund, Dachs means badger in German, and Hund means dog or hound, hence the term badger hound. And some historians believe that Dachshund has been around for many, many centuries. Cultural depictions of dogs can be found dating back thousands of years in caves during the Bronze Age. In fact, the Greeks and the Romans valued dogs as pets for their loyalty and companionship, and they often depicted them in a lot of their art, whether ceramics or reliefs. During the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, dogs were oftentimes depicted in hunting scenes, and they were often associated with the aristocracy. In fact, only the nobility were allowed to keep hunting dogs, and they symbolize fidelity and courage. And during the Middle Ages as well, dogs were highly prized for their intelligence and being more perceptive of all the animals.
Representations of dogs in art became more elaborate as individual breeds evolved and relationships between humans and canines began to develop. As dogs were domesticated, they were shown more as companion animals, often seen sitting on a lady's lap in a painting reflecting wealth or social status. Throughout art history, mainly in Western art, there is a noticeable presence of dogs being portrayed not only as pets, but as status symbols. We begin to see a shift of dogs brought into the homes and allowed to reside inside with everybody else. They were very much cherished as part of the family and held in high regard, especially by the upper classes. Now, it has been said that of all the members of the animal kingdom, dogs were by far Mr. Hearst's favorite. If this was the case, it would make sense that his fondness for dogs was reflected not only in the personal pets that he owned, but also in his expansive art collection here at San Simeon. If you search hard enough, you'll find dogs in the tiles, tapestries, pottery, the mantles, lamps, rugs, and even the upholstery. The first example we're going to take a look at makes it very hard to miss the dogs. The billiard room has an overall theme of gamesmanship and sport, as represented by indoor activities such as billiards and outdoor activities as seen in the second oldest tapestry in William Randolph Hearst's art collection. This is called a mille fleurs tapestry, meaning 1,000 flowers in French. These types of tapestries were made in the early 15th century to about the early 16th century. You could think of tapestries as the headlines of history. They would really tell a story. The scene here depicts the hunt of a stag against a background of flowers and trees. This representation of dogs supports our previous mention of dogs being depicted in hunting scenes during this particular time in art history. In fact, there are a total of 9 dogs here. If we take a closer look, in the bottom right corner, you see a kennel man with the lead scent hound on a leash as he trails the stag closely. In the bottom center, there's another kennel man tending to several hounds, all leashed. Some of them even appear to be in training or perhaps losing their focus a bit. If you look at the expressions on the dogs' faces with their tongues hanging out and their teeth bared, maybe this hunt's been going on for quite some time. But as you can see in this tapestry, it's all about the dogs.
Sometimes in art, the dog is the focal point, as we saw with Jessie in the billiard room, but other times the dog's a little bit harder to find. And a great example of that is in this 16th century Franco-Flemish tapestry entitled The Reception of Daniel by Nebuchadnezzar. In the tapestry you can see King Nebuchadnezzar in his throne with Daniel with his arms outstretched, interpreting the dream of the king of a huge idol with a head made of gold that's broken into many pieces. If you look closer around the king and Daniel, you can see maybe the court of the king or the townspeople. But in the lower left-hand corner, if you look closely, you might be able to find this small, unassuming dog, seemingly unaware of all that is going on around him. We're in the easternmost room of Casa Grande. This is called the morning room. And the morning room has 4 17th century Flemish pastoral tapestries depicting rural life. Great example, the one directly behind me. You see some of the workers maybe harvesting honey, as noted by the bee skeps over to my left. If you look over my left shoulder, you also see a dog that was accompanying the township as they were out harvesting the honey. Much like how you might have your dog accompanying you when you're going for a walk or working out in the garden. In this instance, the dog is very prominent, but not the main focus of the tapestry. Now we've concentrated on the main social rooms of the big house. We're now going to make our way upstairs and see if we can find some other dogs. We're in the north wing of Casa Grande, and these are some of the last rooms that were finished and decorated in the 1940s. The piece to my left is an 18th century Qing dynasty ceramic painted in black and gold with a wooden vase. Though technically not a dog, it's a lion, or shi in Chinese. In the West, we tend to call them fu dogs with their resemblance to the chow or the shih tzu. Fu in Chinese actually means Buddha. Pairs of these lions were often found in front of palaces or Buddhist temples. They were known as guardian lions or stone temple dogs. If you look closely on this particular one, it originally was not a table lamp. It was used for burning incense.
I'm here in one of the bedrooms on the 3rd floor of the north wing, standing next to a portrait of a woman with her Maltese dog in front of her. Visitors over the years have commented that the dog has a rather unusual looking face, almost taking on human-like qualities. She also has a weasel-like animal identified as a marten with her, grasping her gold chain in its mouth. If you take a look at her attire, on her head she wears what is called a balzo, a donut-shaped headdress very popular in Renaissance Italy. Although her identity is not known, she appears to be some type of noblewoman. And if so, having the dog in the painting with her would be a type of status symbol. This is also a typical representation of a dog being portrayed as more of a companion animal. Camille Salon was a designer and art director who worked for Mr. Hearst at his San Simeon estate for many years, well into the 1940s. His work can be seen all over the hilltop, including on the murals he painted on the arches in this room found on the 4th floor of the north wing. The paintings depict various medieval stories. Found at the end of the arch, telling the tale of the lost child of St. Allen, are Salon's initials carved into a tree by a young boy with his dog by his side. In real life, Camille Salon was known to be accompanied by his dog. As he got older and his eyesight began to fail him, Salon used a German Shepherd named Chummy as a guide dog. William Randolph Hearst certainly hired a talented crew of people to help create his San Simeon estate. Let's go see what we can pick out among the thousands of books in his library.
We're in the library, and the library has over 4,000 volumes. Mr. Hearst, big collector of books. He had manuscripts from George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin, first editions from Charles Dickens as well. Subject matter in here, I have found A through Z. I have found architecture through zoology. And when Jessie and I were preparing for this video today, we found another book over my right-hand shoulder, all about dogs, complete with even the little paw print on the spine.
We have enjoyed this opportunity to take you through art history a bit as it relates to dogs and the roles that they played. The next time you see a tapestry, a painting, or really anything you consider to be a work of art, take a closer look and you may be surprised at what you will find. In fact, you might have a masterpiece just sitting at home depicting your own four-legged friends. Feel free to share it with us and post it in the comment section below. In the meantime, enjoy this slideshow of other dogs we found in the Hearst Castle art collection. Thank you for joining us today.